And now that our customer class is ready, all we need to do is create a new customer and check the invoicing configuration parameters for that customer and start generating invoices. We are going to start with on-demand invoices and we'll see the regular invoices in our next chapter. Let's go to sales, customers, and create a new customer belonging to the customer class we've just configured. Let's name it Invoicing Test 101. It will be a postpaid customer. No credit limit is needed. And our customer class will be 101 Test 6. This is the last one we've created. And let's set a daily billing period so that the invoices are generated every day. We're going to look at billing periods in our next chapter as well. The time zone is going to be Europe, Prague. Let's go to finances, invoices and taxation, and check the invoicing configuration for this customer. As you see, all the parameters, both for regular and for out-of-turn invoices, are inherited from the customer class, okay? As defined by the customer class. Before we generate any on-demand invoices, let's add 2 manual charges, okay? Let's choose manual charge, add manual charge for $10. We are not going to activate toggle include into the out-of-turn invoice. Okay, click finish and add 1 more charge for $15. The same process. Click continue. And we're done. Okay, so let's create our on-demand invoice. We go to finances, invoices, and taxation, create on-demand invoice. We see that we have initial and out-of-turn invoice available. Initial invoice is available only once when the customer is created, and it will include all the charges from the beginning of the billing period until now. So let's click initial invoice. And we see that the charges we've manually added are both included, and we do not have the option to uncheck it. So it works very much like the midterm invoice, only the main difference that it can be issued only once. Let's click continue. We are going to skip this additional manual fee. Even though it's marked as mandatory, we can skip it. Okay. And we are ready to generate our initial invoice. Payment terms are defined by the customer class by default, okay? The due date is set also according to our customer class. It's going to be May 20th. Let's continue. And let's choose pay later. Okay, our invoice generation operation was scheduled. And now we see our invoice is available for download or preview. Let's open it. And here's our invoice for $25. Okay, the invoice total and the amount due are $25. This is the topic that we are going to discuss very much in detail in the next chapter. But on the second page, we see the breakdown of these charges. 2 manual charges, one for 10, another one for 15. Let's charge the customer another $20. And this time, let's activate the toggle included into the out-of-turn invoice. And we are going to generate an out-of-turn invoice next. Okay, let's continue, finish. And let's click create invoice on demand again. As you can see, the initial invoice is no longer available. It's available only once. Now a midterm invoice is available instead, but we are going to generate an out-of-turn invoice this time. And here is our charge, our last charge for $20. Let's click it and continue. In order to be able to add the manually added charge to the out of turn invoice, it is important to activate the toggle when we add the manual charge. Now let's click continue. Let's skip this additional manual charge and generate our invoice. It's going to be paid later as well. The invoice generation was scheduled. And it's ready. Our second invoice is ready for preview. Let's click open. And this is our out of turn invoice for $20. We've manually selected the XDRs that we wanted to include in this invoice. Now let's add two more charges. A charge for $30. Okay. This time I'm not going to activate the toggle include into the out of turn invoice. And a charge for $5. And this charge will be included into the out of turn invoice. Let's click continue. Our charges are ready. Let's click create invoice on demand. If we go to midterm invoice, both of these charges will be included. It doesn't matter that we've marked our $5 charge to be included into the out of term invoice. If we generate a midterm invoice, all of the charges up to the moment of the invoice generation will be included, no matter if they're marked for out of turn invoice or not. Let's go back. And now let's select out of turn invoice. Here, we only have the charge that we wanted to include into the out of turn invoice. We don't have the other charge for $30, okay? I just wanted to show you this difference, that all charges up to date are included in the midterm invoice, but only charges marked for out of turn invoice are available to be included in the out of turn invoice. Last thing we're going to do in the scope of this chapter is to change the invoicing configuration for our customer here, Invoicing Test 101. We are going to change the regular invoice template. Instead of iPass new, let's choose basic invoice template and click save. Even though we said that regular invoices are only those generated at the end of the billing period, not on-demand invoices, that the system considers midterm invoices to be regular invoices as well. This is a different classification. Okay, let's generate a midterm invoice and click continue. Both of these charges will be added forcefully. We cannot change that. Let's skip this screen and generate our invoice. It's being generated. And let's open it. You see the invoice template has changed to our basic invoice template that exists in the system. Okay, it's very easy to change the invoice template for a particular customer. In this first chapter, we have learned to configure the invoicing on the customer class. We've seen how we can enable the invoicing for regular and out of turn invoices. We have seen how to create, upload, or choose an existing template in the system, and how to configure the collection process parameters. And we have also created a new customer and generated on-demand invoices for this customer.